I was already giving up. I really didn't think that this day is going to happen, but I am pleased to announce that T-50-2 entered to the Supertest server. Wargaming is thinking about bringing back one of my all-time favorite tanks in this game, T-50-2. Back in the days I think it was a tier 5 light tank, but they are thinking about bringing it back as a tier 6 light tank, so Soviet-Russian light tank. At the moment I do not know how exactly this is going to be. Is this going to be a regular vehicle? Is this going to be a premium vehicle, some kind of a reward tank? I do not have any information about that. We just have to wait and see. But what I have for you today is some information, some background information, together with first details about T-50-2. This was the craziest tank in this game back in the days, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was the fastest, it had the best mobility, it was just crazy. Like, I would say the T-50-2 back in the days was like those wheeled vehicles are going to be in nowadays world of tanks. Super fast, annoying, and really hard to kill, if driver knew what to do with it and how to drive with it. But it is not the only vehicle that Wargaming is testing at the moment. They are also simultaneously testing Object 432, which is upcoming tier 8 Soviet-Russian premium light tank. Yes, you heard me right. Tier 8 premium Soviet-Russian light tank. We are going to get that one as well. Object 432, a vehicle that I actually haven't heard anything about before. I have heard about the T-50-2, and many times when they are testing something, I have heard about the vehicle like maybe 2 years ago or something like that, but 432, I don't know, it was a complete surprise for me as well. I also have first details about 432, so let's take a look at those. But let's start with T-50-2, of course. There is a good chance that it will make a comeback, so sadly we are not 100% sure that it is going to be over here, but I am, let's say, 90% sure that it is going to make a comeback. But let me quickly tell you about the T-50-2 and why it was removed, because I am pretty sure we have many people over here who do not know what T-50-2 is. If you know what it is, or if you have even played with it, then most definitely you are a veteran in this game. So Wargaming had lots of reasons to remove it from the game 5 years ago, around 5 years ago. This tank was ahead of its time and did not fit into the gameplay of that era, they say. It was unique, it was special, and because of that it was becoming overly popular. Many players wanted to have it, many players wanted to play with it at the same time. The decision to remove it from the game was hard and sad at the same time. I was actually pretty mad as well, if I'm completely honest over here, because the T-50-2 was my favorite vehicle back in the days, as I said before, but at the same time I understand why they removed it. It actually was ahead of its time. It was outperforming any other light tank in this game because of its mobility, spotting abilities, capabilities, and all the other things. It was just crazy, and when we didn't have physics engine, driving with it was just ridiculous, simply ridiculous. But those days are long gone, and the T-50-2 enters into the Supertest server for its first testing. So the new T-50-2 is going to be highly mobile tier 6 light tank. At the moment I do not know if this is going to be a premium tank, a reward tank, or a regular vehicle, but I think something tells me that it is going to be either a reward vehicle or a standard vehicle. I don't know, something tells me that. Anyway, it also has decent combat efficiency. You can light up enemy vehicles, but at the same time you can also beat them up, surviving by being agile and compact. Like old T-50-2, you can light up enemy vehicles and at the same time you can tear them a new one. So now let's take a look at first Supertest stats for tier 6 T-50-2. And as always, keep in mind everything is subject to change. Exactly, change. But tier 6. 580 hit points, hull armor 37 all around, turret armor 52 all around. Engine power 480 horsepower engine, turret traverse speed 48 degrees per second, and hull traverse speed 38 degrees per second. That doesn't seem super good, I have to say. Hull traverse speed 38 seems actually pretty bad on this kind of vehicle. View range, however, for a Soviet vehicle is actually quite good, 370 meters. Top speed 65 moving forward and 23 moving backwards, so quite decent I have to say, especially that reverse speed, and the power to weight ratio is 30 horsepower per ton. Now this is not the best power to weight ratio in this game, but I am fairly sure that the rain resistance numbers, all the hidden stats, are going to be almost non-existent, so this vehicle is still going to be super fast and with a really good mobility. So firepower penetration 118, 165 and 29, so on a tier 6 light tank, not bad. And alpha damage as expected from this kind of caliber is quite low, 85 and 95 with HE. So I really do not recommend carrying too many HE rounds, maybe 2 max, because the extra damage is only 10 and you lose almost all of your penetration. Accuracy 0.42, aiming time 2 seconds and reload time 3 seconds. So quite a fast firing gun, pew 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 gun we can say. You can easily boost it down to 2.7 seconds or something like that. And finally, gun depression is actually quite surprisingly good, -7 degrees of gun depression and 25 degrees of gun elevation. So T-50-2 on paper, but I really want to see this vehicle in action. I want to get some hands-on testing. How can I get into the Supertest server wargaming? Please let me test this vehicle out, because T-50-2 is all about that mobility. It is literally all about that mobility. Firepower comes second, your mobility is what saves you, what gets you into good positions, what makes this tank for me specially. So I have to wait for some gameplay action. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But moving on, because we have another vehicle to look at. Object 432, vehicle that I do not know anything about. So let's see what Wargaming says about Object 432 so far. The new premium tank is quite like the top tier vehicle on the Soviet tech tree, so T-100LT. Yeah, it kinda looks like it as well from the stat picture at least. It doesn't have any like detailed models yet, it only has prototype vehicle models. So it has a low silhouette, exactly like on T-100LT, great camo and hard-hitting weapon for a light tank. This is not exactly like on T-100LT, because T-100's firepower is actually quite bad. But gameplay-wise, the Object 432 is different from its progression Tier 8 counterpart, so standard Tier 8 vehicle, the LTTP, being able to combine spotting with damage dealing, while the LTTP is more about active spotting, having better acceleration and better view range. At first, Wargaming is going to test out the new Object 432 with 85mm gun with better gun stats than on LTTP, and after that they are in the second test stage, they are going to test it out with 100mm cannon. After all the testing, they are going to look at stats to figure out which gun works better on this type of vehicle. So let's take a look at first specs about Object 432. And guys, I don't know, I am a bit scared to say what I think about this vehicle. I think I am going to say that in my opinion it looks and feels like mini T100 in Tier 8 that makes you more credits and more experience. It is quite scary. It actually is, in my opinion. So, Tier 8 with 1150 hit points, hull armor 70 in the front, 40 on the sides and 40 in the rear, turret armor 160, 160. Now slopes are actually super nice, so it can see some bounces for sure, especially from lower tiers. Engine power 850. 850 horsepower engine. By the way, guys, once again, keep in mind everything is subject to change. Maybe this vehicle, well, most likely, hopefully, this vehicle is not going to end up being as it is over here at the moment. But 850 horsepower engine with 48 degrees of turret traverse and hull traverse speed. View range is exactly the same as on T-50-2, 370 meters. Top speed 70, reverse speed 23, and power to weight ratio is better as well than on T-50-2. But once again, T-50 is a tier 6 vehicle. So 31.48 horsepower per ton. Nice. Firepower 176 millimeters of penetration. I have seen worse, like ELC even 90, for example. 218 millimeters of penetration with premium rounds. Alpha damage numbers 180, 180, and 300. So over here you can actually carry a couple HE rounds because damage difference is quite significant, like 40% extra damage or something. Accuracy not half bad, 0.35. Aiming time really good, 2-second aiming time, and reload time 4.9 seconds at the moment at least. Gun depression -7 degrees, which is crazy, and gun elevation 15 degrees, which doesn't matter so much in this game anymore. But guys, what do you think about that mini T100 LT in tier 8 as a premium vehicle? Wow, yes, it looks sick, it looks crazy, but in my opinion, at the moment at least, it feels to be a bit too good. I don't know, I haven't played with it, but simply by looking at the stats. This is my opinion. I am no god, so you can have your own opinion. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments down below. And as always, I can provide some extra information to Wargaming. But guys, so much is happening in World of Tanks at the moment. This was my 3rd news episode in a row. Hopefully, they are not going to release something new, something awesome tomorrow. I would like to show you some gameplay action as well. Well, you actually can see some gameplay action on the background all the time, but I would like to play this game as well in front of you. But this was my today's episode, and as it is a Friday, I wish you the best weekend ever. Please do something awesome, play games, do whatever makes you happy. Really, this is the goal. And guys, once again, I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching my videos and what I do over here. I hope it was informative, helpful, maybe even entertaining. That battle on the background was actually quite an interesting watch, so hopefully you enjoyed it. I get you next time with something else. In the meantime, maybe you can check out my Beast Mode care store to support me even more. And a huge, massive shout out to my Patreon army. You guys are legends, you guys are the best. Thank you for sticking with me, even when I'm super busy at the moment with real life. So much is happening, but more about that in the future, maybe. Anyway, I get you next time. Stay awesome, take care, and bye.